morning. Today is Thursday, January 16th. We're in the lesson quarterly, God's Love and Justice. And the lesson for today is called A Worthy Goal. Under the umbrella of God's mercy and mediation, God takes pleasure in even the smallest positive response to his love. Through the one who alone is worthy of love and is himself perfectly righteous, each one of us can be counted righteous and counted among God's beloved, who will live with him in perfect love for eternity. This is the great hope of the redemption, which involves Christ's work for us in heaven. But you might wonder, can this include even me? What if I am not good enough? What if I am afraid that I do not have enough faith? Read Mark 9:17 to 29. Then one of the crowd answered and said, "Teacher, I brought you my son, who has a mute spirit, and whenever it seizes him, it throws him down. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. So I spoke to your disciples that they should cast it out, but they could not." He answered him and said, "O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him to me." Then they brought him to him, and when he saw him, immediately the spirit convulsed him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming at the mouth. So he asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood. And often he has thrown him both into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." Jesus said, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying, "Deaf and dumb spirit, I command you, come out of him, and enter him no more." Then the spirit cried out, convulsed him greatly, and came out of him, and he became like one dead, so that many said, "He's dead." Book 29, not 26. 3 more verses. But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, "Why could we not cast this one out?" So he said to them, "This kind can come out by nothing but prayer and fasting." So it was a powerful demon. How does God respond to the man in the story? Well, initially he asks if the man has faith, or he tells him that he doesn't have faith. How much faith is enough faith? Did I read the right one? How much faith is enough faith? It says in the Bible that if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. Anyway, the disciples could not cast out the demon. All hope seemed lost. But Jesus came and told the Father, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Mark 9:23. And the Father tearfully replied, "Lord, I believe, help my unbelief." Mark 9:24. Notice Jesus did not say to the man, "Come back to me when you have more faith." Instead, his cry, "Help my unbelief," was enough. Without faith, it is impossible to please God, Hebrews 11:6. And yet Jesus accepts even the smallest faith. And by faith, through the mediation of Christ, we can be pleasing to him. Through faith, and because of Christ's work on our behalf, we can respond in ways that please God, similar to the way that a human father is pleased when a child brings him a gift that is otherwise worthless. Thus, we should follow Paul's counsel to make it our goal to be well pleasing to God. Second Chronicles 5, 9, and 10. As we should ask God to transform our interests to include the best interests of those whom we love, to expand our love so that it reaches out to others. Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love, and in honor giving preference to one another, not lagging in diligence. Fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing steadfastly in prayer, distributing to the needs of the saints, given to hospitality. That was Romans 12, 10 to 13. Discussion question. If God accepts us through Christ, how much more should we accept others? Well, I think that's kind of obvious. We should readily help others. What light does the command to love your neighbor as yourself and the golden rule to treat people the way you want to be treated shed on this idea? Well, I mean, if you loved your neighbor as you loved yourself, then, I mean, there'd be no wars. And treat people the way you want to be treated. That's a very important rule. I mean, it's called the golden rule for a reason. When I was growing up, and when my oldest son was growing up, there was one time when my son, he was interacting with a friend, and he did something that was rather mean. And I said to him, "What? Don't do that. Why are you doing that?" And he said to me, "Well, they want me to treat them this way because they're treating me this way." And I was like, no, you have it all backwards. The golden rule is not to look for ways to treat people the way they're treating you. In doing that, what you're doing is you are asking people to look for ways to mistreat you. The golden rule applies to you, not to someone else. It applies to you. You need to treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't have it backwards. And I think if more people took that to heart, the world would be a much kinder place. Anyway, have a nice day.